Hello, my friends. Let's talk again. Dr. Ken Bird here. Question: what is the last pillar of sexism to be torn down? My answer would be inequality against women. Inequality against women. Because as much has been done, there's still far ways to go. We notice that in society, laws have been put forth in terms of the 19th Amendment that speaks of equal pay and various other titles under that amendment to bring about equity for everyone, women in the workplace. But we still find that as much as 20% in pay is what women make less than men. And we find that women have been objected from certain leadership roles in society. And even in government, we find that as much as 170 countries do not have a woman as president or prime minister, or whatever term may be given to the highest leadership in that country. We know that inequity reigns within society. And although governments have take significant steps to balance the scales when it comes to equality between men and women, we find that women still make less pay and has much less leadership than men. We find that even more than that, even when it comes to religion, when women are denigrated to certain roles more predominantly than men. And while society may be trying to bridge the gap between that chasm of inequity, we find that even in theocracy, there is resistance to having the kind of equity and equality that matters to both sexes. And we wonder why. We wonder why. When it comes to inequity in theocracy, in religion, we know that one of the cause of that is based upon the belief system. It's based on the belief system that governs that religion. It's based on the belief system that governs that religion. And we find that many religious teachings will stand firm with the teaching, even though many of the ideas are old and archaic and outdated, and they still follow that same belief system, that they would sing the song, "Give me that old-time religion, it was good enough for me." But we know that society is moving ahead regardless of how archaic belief systems are, and leadership still willing to go by them. So how do we solve the problem of inequality in the church with regards to women? I suggest three things. And the first one is, men in leadership, they must be intentional about what needs to change. There has to be thought put into it, and there's some intention on the part of male groups, groupthink within the institution, to make certain changes that are necessary to bring about the equality and equity that is sought. It has to be made a priority. Number one. Number two, they must create the atmosphere for it to happen. They must create the atmosphere for it to happen. If they're looking to the old ways to have a negative approach to what change needs to be made, then nothing will get done. If there are certain belief systems coming interpreted from the Bible, let's be clear about that. They must study and show why that could not be true. And especially if what is being adhered to as dogma comes from what a man would say or what a man would do, then you must give it further consideration. Give it an imperial thought that means good, what is good from the Creator, and what is good for humanity, what is good for equality, what is good for society, what is good for the community, what is good for the home. You must consider all these things in order to create the right atmosphere for change to happen. Choose someone who is passionate about the issue, someone having a story to tell of how a child or a woman was mistreated based upon a belief system, even taken from the Bible out of context. For me, I would have a personal story to tell as to why I think change must happen in terms of equality and equity for women, because I have two daughters. I have two daughters that I love very much, and I wouldn't want to see them go through many of the things that I know women go through. In my years of dating, I've met at least 5 women who confess they were raped. They have gone through rape, even by a parent, one of them, and even by a member of a church. And the stories go on and on. So when we discuss the equality for women, we realize that some of the problems are coming from false belief systems taken from the Bible. And like I said, it can come from the Bible, but if men are the one, as in the Nicene Council, set standards for belief systems and really don't have a woman's point of view, there's a big chance that whatever they interpret a scripture to mean might be biased on the part of the male gender. So the right atmosphere must be created with the right people with a good story to tell that bolster the point on which change needs to be made. And number 3, leaders in institutions, leaders in church, in communities, they must rally the equality of women as a cause worth defending and promoting in leadership meetings, the pulpit, and community outreaches. All these are very, very important when you come to consider what it means for women to have equality, not just in society where laws are made to make that happen, but of course in the church where there's so much diehard ideologies and belief system that keep women in suffrage when they really should not be, based upon what the Creator intends for all humanity. Since women's suffrage is well documented, their release into full equality would mean their own emancipation proclamation. And it is time for this to be within the church, within the community, within the concept of being universal and universal in thought and as an ideology, equality for all. So let us consider these points and see how we may be able to take it as individuals into our own family discussions, into our own group discussions, wherever you may do that, and so that the right changes that are necessary may come about as a result. So again, this is Dr. Ken Bird and my thoughts for tonight. May you have a great night and look forward to a coming day. Have a blessed night and a good tomorrow. Bye for now.